Hey Thomas, how are you again?
Jonathan, I'm doing wonderful. Hope you're doing well as too. All right,
Thank you.
listen, last segment we talked about the layoffs in the logistics industry. So you know what? I want to talk about an article that came out from Salesforce in the fourth quarter last year, and it's basically positioning your business now. So it's bricks and clicks businesses will outpace brick and mortar as well as e-commerce by 1.5 times in revenue. Your thoughts on that since you're that digital marketing guy?
And we've seen it. We've seen businesses that had retail spots or even office businesses that they just had an office with 5, 10 people in it. And people are trying to avoid having that overhead because, like we mentioned in the last segment, things are getting tight. People don't know where to spend the money. They're trying to be more strategic. I've talked to, hundreds of business owners this year alone, and a lot of them are still in the retail area. We're talking people that are selling items
Mhm.
and product based, and they get some people off the street to come in, and they usually pay and take care of the rents from what they bring in from the walk traffic. However, a lot of people now are looking, across the country, across the state. They're shipping, and that's becoming more economical for them. They're figuring out ways to save money, not needing that storefront, unless you're a food business or you have to service the person like a masseuse or something like that, a barber. A lot of these people are trying to remove that cost out of their expense folder because uh, two, three, four, 10,000, whatever it may be, they're spending a lot of money for those retail spots, and they're not getting it back from people because people are going to Amazon, people are going to eBay. They're looking for ways to save money, be more efficient with how they spend. So yeah, definitely we're seeing people switch, coming to us saying we need an online store, we want to use Shopify, we want to use WordPress, and they're figuring out ways to save that money and then take a portion of that money and invest it into marketing digitally.
All right. You know what? I'm going to really break this down into a simple end because, with consulting with a lot of businesses, I have a good friend of mine. I've known him since I'm a little kid. His parents, own the local bakery. Anyway, my friend Mike, he actually took over the bakery from his folks, and he makes these delicious like cookies, too delicious. Okay, just looking at him, you're going to gain weight. That's how good they are. But he would actually do like 5 pound trays, 10 pound trays, even 15, 20 pounds. But he started a little over about a dozen years ago, probably about 15 years ago, expanding that business where he's now like shipping cookies, not just from the neighborhood people buying them. He's actually got accounts where, especially during the holiday season, and he does about, believe it or not, 30% of his business almost is cookies, meaning during the holidays. And he has a brick and mortar place. So he's shipping cookies around the country, and that's what he does. All the way from Long Island, they're going out to California, Hollywood. They're going to, he knows people in that friends of his that work in that industry. And again, word of mouth advertising. He keeps it simple. In his, in his basket of cookies. I told him years ago, throw an advertisement, throw your card. Hey, 10% off in your next store to give this code, when you call in. And you know what? It's helped his business. I mean, it's flourished. Again, he went from really only having maybe about like maybe 6 or 7% of his, business was cookies during the holidays. But when he decided to like expand it and started getting some corporate accounts, now it's almost 30%. So businesses out there, exactly what Jonathan's saying to you. If you're a brick and mortar, yes, you may not be a bakery, but I'm giving you something simple to understand from a bakery standpoint. What can you do with your business? What products or services and or both that you can actually move and produce, in a bigger region? Can you go across the country? Can you go across the state? Can you go within your state into other areas? How large can you make that radius go for yourself? That's what you got to start thinking. Just because you may have a business on Main Street, USA, don't think that your business can't just go from foot traffic to other people outside of that, like the clicking, as Jonathan's mentioning to you. You got to hook yourself up with a very, very intelligent, strategic, digital marketing person. And you got to sit down and do a plan and understand, okay, this is where the budget's going to take me. We get to phase one, phase two, the budget's going to expand, but also business is going to, expand. The economy is getting a little bit more challenging for these businesses. So
Yeah.
now you have obstacles in front of you. You got to think how you're going to work outside these obstacles to not only make rent, but to still make stronger revenue numbers that you've been doing. Thoughts, Jonathan?
Well, that's just the problem that a lot of people are having. So let's say you got a place on Long Island and your rent is $3,000 for a little retail spot.
Mhm.
They're that $3,000 is a lot of money for a lot of businesses, especially those smaller businesses or the ones that are just
Sure.
starting out. So whether let's say you're a pizzeria, you got to bake, several hundred pizzas to get a profit. If you're
Yes.
a, a retail
And by the
shop,
way, if you're a pizzeria, your rent, you might have your rent, but then you have your utilities. You're looking at probably about $10,000 to $12,000 minimum for your operating expense. So think of how many pies you got to flip for that.
so a lot of what we're seeing is people with smaller electronic type products, or just people selling art, people, whatever it may be. People are just saying, I have to sell X amount of pieces to just break even. And I'm not
Mhm.
seeing the foot traffic in the door paying that anymore. They're having to go, and they're in a weird spot. A lot of these companies, they're scared to close because then they're only digital, right? So it used to be 30 years ago, 20 years ago, location, location, location. Get the right spot, be on Old Country Road, be at Hempstead Turnpike, get a good spot with a lot of traffic, a lot of cars that come by, a lot of foot traffic, and you're going to get people coming in the door.
That magic thing, the top three things: location, 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 like you were mentioning.
Yep. So that now, that doesn't work anymore because people are
Yeah.
shopping easily. It may work a little bit still, but people can buy that same product on Amazon. They can buy that product on whatever site, and it's going to be cheaper. They can find everyone that's selling it within a matter of seconds. So if you're selling, let's say, a phone system, what makes your phone system different than anyone else's, or is it the same? And if it's the same, what are you doing to give yourself a better value? Are you going to
Mhm.
provide some kind of consulting? Are you going to provide, a warranty, whatever it may be? What's going to make you stand out from everyone else is what you need to think to get yourself ahead of everyone else.
Mhm.
Because there's a
Uh,
lot of things that go in place.
100%. Everything you said is like right hitting the hammerhead to the nail, and that's exactly what it comes down to. Um, again, it's thinking outside that box. Don't limit yourself. And you know what? Sit down again with a digital marketing and intelligent person who's going to bring up, strategic plan with you. Okay. Not for you, with you, because you know your business and they got to be all ears. And I've said this before, just don't go on one digital marketer's, comments. Go interview 3 to 5 of them. Take the time to do so. Guys like Jonathan, you know what? There's far and few between as good as him, because like the creme de la creme. But you know what? You're the one that has to make the decision on the person you're going to work with. So don't get bullshitted, because I've seen too many business owners get bullshitted from digital marketing guys and IT guys. Unfortunately, a lot of IT guys have been thieves to businesses, and that's not a good thing either. As I believe in karma, it'll come back and haunt you. Just be straightforward with people, and that's all you got to do. You want to add anything else before we sign off in this one, Jonathan?
I think we hit all the points. Just if you have questions, you're going through a struggle about figuring out how to get out of the retail, start your store. It's not, I'll say it again just because I see people coming to me and saying, I have 50 products I want to sell, and they think they're going to start up a Shopify website, and then orders are just going to come in 2 seconds. It doesn't work that way. It's more difficult than it is, than it sounds. So you really need to sit down with your marketing person, sit down with your team, figure out what your expectations are, set a good goal, but be realistic, and then just figure out how's that going to work. Look it over month after month, figure out if that's working. Do you need to make changes? But there are a lot of opportunities out there, so everyone has that chance.
100%. Well, listen, we appreciate your time. Hopefully, giving you creative knowledge for you. Please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, like button. You guys have a great day. Take care.
Here, everyone.